Hello, Vilpi here and welcome back to the channel. I have been using the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra for past few days and I want to do a comparison between the Ultra and the regular Note 20. Let's talk about the design and the build quality. The build quality of these two phones are very good, but the material used in them are quite different. The Note 20 Ultra's build quality is top notch. It has a metal frame and the front and the back are made from glass with Gorilla Glass 7 protection. Back of the phone is quite glossy and looks like a mirror. Some may like this and some may don't. I personally prefer a matte design. On Note 20 we have that matte finish, but the glass on the back is replaced with a cheap plastic. This hugely impacts how the phone looks and feels in the hand. It might be quite a deal breaker for lots of people. The camera bump is huge on the Ultra. There is a clear emphasis on the camera module on the Ultra, which you don't see that on the regular Note. Both phones come with AMOLED displays. On the Ultra we have a 6.9-inch dynamic AMOLED with 2 times faster touch input. On the regular Note we have a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED Plus. Both displays peak brightness can go up to 1500 nits. Have that in mind, this only happens when you watch HDR10 plus contents, and your daily use can go up to around 1000 if you are, for example, in direct sunlight. But make sure you always have the adaptive brightness settings set as on. In terms of colors, they both look great and attractive. The biggest difference between the two displays are the design, resolution and the refresh rate. The Ultra has a curved display that supports Quad HD and 120 Hz refresh rate, while the regular Note has a flat display and is only Full HD. And it is limited to 60 Hz, which is disappointing for a phone costing $1,000. It is sad on the Ultra you cannot have both high refresh rate and Quad HD at the same time. I cannot accept Samsung claiming this is to save battery. To me this more looks a hardware limitation from Exynos side. Anyhow, I could get around 5 to 6 hours screen on time on these two phones and it took me around 80 minutes to fully charge them. We have an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner under the display. It is the same as S20 series and it is still not the fastest out there. Let's talk about this stylus. The Note 20 Ultra has a faster pen with 9 milliseconds latency compared to the regular Note with 26 milliseconds. But did I notice any difference? I didn't. Maybe because I'm not really into using a stylus with the phone. But one thing I noticed was that sometimes the phone didn't respond to the first touches. For instance, when I was trying to hit the close button of the notebook, it just didn't work for the first time. Overall, I think you should buy Note if you really need the pen. Otherwise, there might be better options. Of course, it's good to have it and may be very useful for some of the users, but for some users, maybe not at all. Regarding the performance and the CPU, as I'm in Europe, both phones comes with the Exynos 990 chipset, which is sad. All the tests and benchmarks clearly show how superior the Snapdragon 865 is in performance, battery life and heat management compared to the Exynos version. And considering now that 865 Plus is out there for the US version, and here we still get a chip that is not as good as even the previous version of 865 Plus, this whole Exynos thing doesn't make sense to users in Europe. And this is another reason I'm not using Samsung phones as my daily drivers here in Europe. Let's talk about cameras. Both phones have a 10 megapixel selfie camera. They are good. Let's talk about the main cameras. There are key differences in the hardware. They both have the exact same ultra-wide sensor, a 12 megapixel sensor with 100-degree field view. But for the main camera, we have 108 megapixel sensor with laser autofocus on the Ultra and 12 megapixel on the regular Note. The Ultra has 12 megapixel periscope telephoto lens that is capable of 5x optical zoom, but the regular Note has a 64 megapixel telephoto lens. Regarding the performance of the camera, they both took very similar photos on all lenses except the telephoto zoom, which is 5 times on the Ultra compared to 3 times on the regular Note. In daylights, both phones take very sharp image, very good dynamic range, and very color accurate. Shadow details are good, and overall performance of the main camera is in flagship level. Same applies to the ultra wide photos. There is a difference in how the colors are between the ultra wide and the wide sensor, but both are good, and I think it's based on personal preferences. Putting the photos side by side, the surprising thing for me was that in some cases the regular Note took better photos from the main sensors. The photos were a bit sharper. That was noticeable in the camera app as well. During night, both cameras took quite good photos. In terms of handling the shadows and noise, the night mode improved the noise and sharpness significantly. But one thing you can find in almost all the Samsung phones is that they handle the colors in night differently. For example, the color of the light was anything other than the orange or yellow that we see here. It was white or grayish. I don't know how and why Samsung tends to change the colors to this one. For the video recording, both phones are capable of recording in 4K at 60 frames per second with OIS, and also support 8K at 24 frames per second. I only tested the 4K at 60 frames per second. Video recording is identical on both phones. One thing I realized is that even though Samsung has used the laser autofocus on the Ultra, the problem with the S series is almost still there. The regular Note without the laser focus is faster and better in handling the autofocus. You can clearly see it here. Even there are some cases such as this one where the 20 Ultra cannot handle the autofocus at all. Recording a video in low light is just bad. I guess that is typical in all phones. Overall, during night recording, the footage on the regular Note has more noise compared to the Ultra. Speaker quality on both phones are very good and almost identical. It is just not as loud as I expected. From the UI side, they both come with Android 10 and the Samsung One UI 2.5 on top of them. Well, if you have used Samsung phones, you know how it is. It is not the smoothest experience. You still get a bunch of extra applications and features which some may like and some may don't always use. I always prefer a cleaner look. I'm currently using Nova Launcher on the Ultra. It helps to improve the look for the most of the things that I don't like about the One UI. Now, like all my videos, I'm finishing this with my personal recommendation and feelings about these phones. Both of these phones are very fast with flagship performance. On the Ultra, we have definitely a superior build quality and better display. Better display only in the refresh rate and not in the resolution, because if you want to use the higher refresh rate, the resolution is just same as the regular Note. Get the Ultra only if you are in US or you need the stylus pen. If not, just go and grab any of S20 series which are now reduced in price. The regular Note is definitely an overpriced phone. I cannot recommend this phone to anyone. It is a good phone, it has good camera, but this build quality and this display is wrongly priced. This could have been priced around 600 to 700 and then it was easy to recommend to anyone. So unless you're dying for a stylus pen, I definitely believe you should skip the regular Note and go and buy S20 or S20 Plus or even the Note 10 series from the last year. So this was it, guys. I hope this video has shed some lights on these two phones and help you to make a purchase decision. If you like my channel and my contents, make sure you subscribe to both, support me and see my future contents. Thank you for watching, and until the next one.